Mutation creation. Man, am I colorful. Have to wear all the shirts that people give me. Well, not all of them, but most of them. This one here from Earl and his wife from Lone Star. Not slacking on the back, it's just like the front. The thing's not slacking anywhere, man. This thing's crazy.
You got naked pigs on you.
Yeah, really? No.
Yeah, right there. There's two of them.
What the? Earl, guys, what are you doing? What's going on in Texas? Wow. But we had a barbecue today. I don't know if you watched our, our Instagram story in Lord of Lions, but we usually have a barbecue almost every day, or every other day. So we had a barbecue. I should have worn this, but I didn't. But I'm wearing it right now. So we're getting into a little project. We actually cut some animals. Oh, sorry.
No,
we didn't cut animals.
We never did that.
We don't cut animals. We cut eggs. So when we cut the eggs, we got some really cool stuff that we weren't even expecting. It was crazy, right?
Oh yeah.
We should have cut it. As soon as we cut the first egg, we should have cut them on film, but we didn't. So we only got 3 eggs from this female, and we had a bunch of slugs. One of the eggs was a boob egg, so we're like, So when it was ready, we're like, yeah, you know what? Why bother? It's like 2 eggs, like 1 each. Why even race? We're probably not even gonna hit. Let's just cut them, and we did. And we were blown away. And I'm gonna give you a little bit of a story behind it after I show you. This is clutch 30. So here, I've shown some pictures on Insta, okay? This here is a tri-stripe, and it's a male, and a awesome looking tri-stripe at that. And then, this is the one that was in the boob egg, came out to be an Orange Dream tri-stripe. Look at the difference in color. Half the size, but I mean, it's still a male. He's doing well. Hopefully, I don't know, after they've shed, we'll get them, and they'll eat no problem. And here is an Orange Dream, 66% tri-stripe, but they're also 66% het hypo also, which is cool. So, pretty neat. Now, how the story goes, I bought a collection back in 2012, 10 years ago. Went through his collection, everything was bagged up, brought it back, and there was a bunch of animals that on the tag said weirdo. Weirdo 1, weirdo 2, weirdo 3, females, weirdo male. So I called the guy up, I'm like, dude, what the hell's weirdo? Never heard of weirdo before. And he goes, I don't know, dude, it was just weird, so I called them weirdos. I'm like, okay, what was the pairing? So, back in the day, another friend of mine that I knew bought an Orange Dream male from Aussie. Shipped it in. Back then, hypo was huge. Don't forget, we're talking 10 years ago. Hypo was around. It was way before clown craze and stuff like that. Pied, hypo, albino, stuff like that. So, he bred the Orange Dream to a hypo. Now back then, a lot of the animals that we had weren't like vivid, high quality animals. They were just whatever we could get and whatever was available, especially with the small market. So he bred the the OD to this hypo and made Orange Dream 100% het hypos. So he took that male, bought it from my friend, OD het hypo, and even then the ODs weren't that great. That he produced, because I guess the hypo female that he bred it to wasn't all that. Took this animal, bred it to some stuff, made these weirdos. Well, here's one of them. I'll just get this one here. So here's one of them, and this is the breeder female that I have. So right here, and this is why he called them weirdos. Now, of course, if you know, Ozzy has a gene called weirdo, or that's what he's named it, so obviously I'm not going to name it weirdo. We just still have it as weirdo because that's how it's been for the last 10 years. But I noticed these. I'm like, look how weird this is. And now I know why Buddy called it weirdos. I mean, look at the neck. So this here was supposed to be like a weirdo het hypo. So what I ended up doing is like, what am I supposed to do with this weirdo? And I'm looking at it, and a few people said, you know what? It looks like it's probable het tri-stripe. And I'm like, well, it makes sort of sense. It looks like it, let's try it out. So I tried to go get a visual tri-stripe years ago. Wasn't one around. Chris Towers from Chris Towers Reptiles basically had a proven breeder het tri-stripe male. And I'm like, you know what, let me try it out. Let me prove it out, 1 and 4. Let me try doing it, and see if it is het tri-stripe. Bred it, no tri-stripes. What do you have, like 7 eggs?
Yep.
I think 7 or 7 babies. No tri-stripes. So guess what? It's probably not tri-stripe or het tri-stripe. Then what happens is we have a whole bunch of these weirdos. So some come out looking crazy like that, some come out looking normal. And we didn't even realize the OD was there. It was just like, nothing, some were brighter than others. We figured it was just the weirdo. And, made a whole bunch of 50% double het hypo tri-stripes with the weirdo gene. Then we bred it again, another animal, and here's another one here. This here is probably OD as well. Just not the greatest version. Look at the head stamp. Really clean. But I mean, it looks weirdo. Look at the pattern. So if you notice, like a few years ago, we were really saying, hey, weirdo clutch, hopefully hitting a super weirdo or whatever we were gonna name the gene. Because at that point, Ozzy came up with his weirdo. So we just kept them as weirdo until we figure out if we have a recessive, or it wouldn't be recessive, but if there's a super form. And we were never hitting anything really crazy except these weird patterned animals. So we'll do the next one. We have the next 2. So from that original pairing, I think we put the male. I mean, I'm not really sure, but I have to look at the records. We hit this one here, and I'll take the next one also. So here's another one that came out, that really looks weird. The pattern, the neck isn't as blended as some of them, but on this side it is. But just really strange. And it could even be OD. But we hit a hypo this time. So here's a hypo. And these are 50% het tri-stripes. And this one here would be 66% het hypo, 50% het tri-stripe. And then we hit this one here. Now, I don't know if there's OD in there, probably not. There could be, you never know. I mean, the OD is so subtle in these. But here's a hypo, 50% het tri-stripe. So we do have hypo in it. And if this proves out to be 100% het tri-stripe, that would be awesome. And then I think we have one more to show you. Yeah, grab that one. And this is one from another clutch. But like, look at this. Like, I mean, they're really crazy.
It's like chaining. You should call it changing.
They're calling it what?
You should call it chain, because it just changes.
Like a chain, yeah. I mean, it's really, really odd. So this one here is 66% tri-stripe, 66% hypo.
This one looks like it might be orange dream as well with the head.
Yeah, with the head. I mean, but I mean,
The colors aren't there.
back in the day when I saw this, and I remember seeing the original OD het hypos that he made. When I saw the regular without OD, they look like normals, 100% het hypos, and the ones that, he made that were OD, they didn't look like normals, but they didn't look like the quality, orange dream that we see today. And I think it's because that hypo female that he originally bred it to before he ended up selling the male to the guy with the collection I bought, it was like, oh man, that's a really crappy OD, Same thing with pastels back in the day. There was pastels, and it's like, are you sure that's not just a nice normal? No, that's an ugly pastel. So gene quality and genetics, and you can definitely tell. But moving forward, we got some stuff and breeding it. We've kept everything back, even males and females. We got a lot of this stuff. This is, maybe 5 animals that we showed you out of probably 25. And, sticking to a project for 10 years, even though we're not hitting anything, I mean, man, does it pay off. Look at these two, and they're both males. Tri-stripe, 66% het hypo, an orange dream tri-stripe, 66% het hypo. So pretty awesome. We're still trying to hit and maybe figure out if there is a thing called the super weirdo, or at least that's what, you know, we're calling it here, until the fact that we do produce something else. Obviously, we're not going to use the name weirdo, but, you know, for the last 10 years, that's what they've been called around here. And it's funny because a few years back, people would come to the facility and like, oh, you got weirdo from Ozzy? I'm like, no, it's weirdo from someone else a long time ago. But definitely got to think of a new name. But even if the weirdo gene doesn't pan out, you know, I mean, there's something going on. They make really crazy looking animals. I have tri-stripes and OD tri-stripes, and they're all hypo, and eventually that hypo 66% tri-stripe proves out, and then, you know, eventually I'm gonna have Orange Dream hypo tri-stripes. But, you know, I've held on to this project and raised those animals up as hatchling in 2012. I think we bred the first one 2016, and some of them went bad. And, you know, we've got what, 3 breeder females now, maybe 4?
Yeah, I think that.
Yeah, so, you know, we haven't gone nuts, but we just slowly here, but we've had 2-3 clutches. We got another clutch 39, that's due, I think, in a few more weeks. So that's pretty crazy too. And I did get a tri-stripe, a visual tri-stripe male, a couple years back, and I bred it to a bunch of cool stuff, and I just went in the back, and I've got a bunch of Orange Dream, lesser, pastel, double het hypo tri-stripes from visuals that are 100%. So this project's gonna really take off for us in the next couple years, you know, so I'm really excited, and now we can get it into clown, and you know, who knows where we're going with it, but just goes to show you how a bunch of little hatchlings called weirdos that, you know, I raised up, kept them all, because I saw the cool different variation in the pattern, or the chaining like Austin said, and you know, 10 years later, here we go. Nuts, but just figured we'd show you that story and show you this, because this wasn't one we caught on camera. And it's funny because there's a few clutches even last year. It's like, you know what, there's only 2 eggs. Oh my God, and we're jumping up and down, and you guys didn't get to see it in reality because we figured, we're gonna miss. And 3 eggs, what's the chances of that? 1 in 16?
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 in 16. Double.
Yeah, a recessive.
Oh no, sorry,
it's
tri-stripe.
It's 1 in 8.
1 in 8. I'm thinking double recessive.
Yeah, 1 in 8 for the Orange Dream try.
Yeah, and then 1 in 4. We got 3 eggs. One was a boob egg. We're like, hit 2 of them. Crazy. So, cool little story. Hope you liked it. Hope you liked the video. Hope you liked the shirt. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Keep the comments coming in, and see you next video.